Now, the thing is with sunlight, once you make the right amount of vitamin D, you're not going to be making more. There's sort of a maximum. You're going to top out at 100, and that's the level I've achieved just by sun tanning. But when you take supplements, you can go too high. And do not worry, if someone has one single study to show me the toxic effects of vitamin D, send it on over. Those studies don't exist. Vitamin D is a transcriptional agent. And what that means is it goes to your DNA and it tells your DNA which genes to copy. And if you don't have enough vitamin D, your body has to choose, which genes am I going to copy? There's not enough vitamin D to make everything. So I'm going to stick to my calcium absorption, because if I don't have calcium, I'm going to die. So I got to the point where I was so frustrated looking at these studies, and all of these doctors, it didn't matter what type of medical practice it was. These doctors would put together a study, and it didn't matter what disease it was. They would give people vitamin D, and they'd be all shocked. They go, wow, this vitamin D really worked. We should do further investigation. I'd be like, if you don't understand that everyone is walking around deficient, you're looking at a broken system, and every time you give somebody who's sick vitamin D, they get better. This is not a miracle drug. This is the understanding that everyone's low, and when you give people vitamin D, their health improves to a point. Now, the sicker you are, the more vitamin D will change your life. In my case, I want you to understand that, I wasn't looking for any of the stuff that I found. What happened to me was I was not feeling good. I was on anxiety and depression medication, but there wasn't a lot wrong in my life. I was clenching and grinding my teeth all the time. And when I was asleep, I'd wake up with a really sore neck, and I didn't feel good. I didn't feel right. I would lose my cool and start screaming at everyone. And by accident, I found out I had sleep apnea. And then I found my current guru, Dr. Stasha, Gorminak, who said sleep apnea is a vitamin D deficiency. And I didn't know what that meant. So I started to investigate. And as I raised my vitamin D level, within 2 weeks of taking vitamin D, I stopped clenching my teeth. Everyone thinks clenching and grinding is caused by stress. Well, kids grind their teeth. 2, 3, 4-year-olds grind their teeth in sleep. What are they stressed about? When you give a child who snores or grinds their teeth vitamin D, they'll stop grinding in 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. Now, I don't need a single study to tell me that this is really important. What's happening is vitamin D deficiency, when it gets to a certain point, you don't have enough in your brain. Sleep apnea, bruxism, all these things, these are neurological conditions. Everybody wants to blame sleep apnea on a fat neck. This is your fault. You don't care about yourself. You're a bad person. And now the punishment of sleep apnea is ridiculous. And this is cruel. I had a patient in today who said, I have sleep apnea, but I didn't want to do anything. And I thought, okay, he doesn't want a CPAP, and I can't blame you. Who wants that crap? But I said, well, tell me why not? And he said, well, they wanted to do surgery. And I said, okay, so they want to do a $40,000 surgery to open and widen my jaw. And I said, let me ask you this. The guy's about 72. Let me ask you this. Did you sleep normally for most of your life? And he said, yep. And I said, okay, what do you think changed? What structure changed in your jaw? Nothing. This is a really big deal. I have been trying to get my profession to understand this is a neurological issue, not a structural issue. And children are being mutilated. That's why I'm so thrilled to be on your podcast. I know lots of people who listen to your podcast have kids. This is so important. The easiest thing in the world you can do, and you can change the trajectory of your child's life immediately by doing the simplest thing. And any other questions with DoseNet, I'm happy to answer them all. It's complex. Rule of thumb to anyone listening, it's 1,000 international units per 25 pounds. So that's simple. You got a 50-pound kid, you're going to give them 2,000 IU of vitamin D. That's a maintenance dose. If they're low, you want to give them a loading dose to raise their level.
DoctorsToTrust.com. Please share this video with loved ones.